What is up, L's and G's? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today I've got another cool deck profile for you. This time we're revisiting Code Talkers. I know I did this deck profile like a couple weeks ago, but I've been really having a blast playing this deck. This has been my most favorite deck I've played for in a while. I build a lot of decks on the channel, but a lot of them I build just because I'm curious about them. And then every once in a while, one of them really sticks and I fall in love with it, and I play it extensively even after doing video for the channel. And this is one of those decks. And since the last time I did the list, even though it's only a couple weeks ago, I have updated it, and I do think it's significantly better than it was before. I think I've solved some problems that the deck had before, which is really good. And yeah. So let's just jump into it. I'm going to be showing you everything today, by the way, main, extra, and aside. Might as well start off with our main, though, of course. Let's just jump into it. Oh, actually, real quick before I get into it, because I'm going to be showing like multiple, like I'll probably show this and then I'll probably update again in the future. Feel free to leave some comments down below if you have any suggestions for the build down below. I'm just one guy building these decks, and if you have any other, points that you think would be worth noting, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. But all right, let's get started off with our main deck. The mini Code Talkers go as follows: Microcoder at 3, Code Generator at 2, and if I had Code Radiator, I'd probably play it at 1. I ordered it online. It's still, the order got canceled. I have to go pick one up when I get the chance, but for now I'm just playing 3 and 2. No big deal. Microcoder is like one of the most important cards in the deck, monster wise, and then Generator is just an awesome extender. Pretty basic there. Then for the normal summon monsters, 3 Lady Debug. Nothing crazy there. She's the best normal summon in the deck. 1 Cyber's Gadget. He's the best follow-up normal summon in the deck. 4 Mud Skipper. This card is also really good, just giving you access to all of your high-level monsters. And then we have our Dotscaper at 1. He's great to dump off of stuff like Code Generator and Foolish Burial, and is like a normal summon, is like a 1-card link 3, which is really cool. And then 1 Nightmare Corruptor Ibli, rounding out the main deck monsters. Ibli's really great because some decks just can't out Ibli, and even if they can out Ibli technically, they have to like go minus to do it. Like stuff like Infernoble, sometimes they just have to like tribute summon the red layer, and in that situation they just lost their normal. So if they make Isolde or Hulk, you probably just like negate it or bounce it or whatever, remove it from the field, and without their normal they probably can't extend into it. So really good. That is a pretty safe lineup there. The deck has inherent ways of pulling extra normal summons out of the hand, so not that worried about playing, you know, a heavier amount of them. Totally fine. Moving on to our main deck, some other extenders in the deck: 1 Salamangreat Gazelle, 1 Spinny, 1 Cyber's Converter, and 1 Mathmech Sigma. These are all the same as the last list. The only new thing here is Sigma swapped out Backup Secretary for him. I actually think it's just 100 million times better. The main thing with him, and the main thing with one of the problems I found with the deck prior, and this is one of the biggest things I found with the deck, is getting your board cleared after normal summon. So your opponent having some way to clear all monsters off your board after you normal summon, you could be in a really big pickle. And so I wanted to help the list by including some more cards that allow us to play through that when that happens. We're not playing the control build that the OCG is playing, so we're not able to just like set 3 traps when that happens and stall them out till we draw another card. It just doesn't work that way. So having something like Sigma in the deck is really good. It's super searchable, and it gives you that ability to play through disruption, which is really huge. So not only that, but it can trigger from hand or grave, so he's another good target to send with certain cards. Also really good. And then finishing up the Cyber's monsters in the main: Degrade Buster, Gatchiriad Ignister, and the Parallel Exceeds. Nothing too crazy here. The only new guy here is Degrade Buster. He's insanely good, in my opinion. I think he's just really good. Searchable off 4 Mud Skipper, which is really good. And again, he's another monster that can put himself on the board without needing anything on the field. So you just banish 2 from Grave Summon. If you don't know his quick effect, he can target banish till the end phase any monster with higher attack than him. I know he's 25, but there's actually a decent amount of like monsters that just have more than 2,500 attack, so that's actually pretty solid there. And he's just a threat. 25 allows you to put more pressure on him and just put a body on the field if need be. So really good card. That is it for all of the main deck monsters that are Cybers. For the hand traps: 3 Ash, 2 Bell, 2 Phantasme, Not getting too crazy here. I mean, obviously this is just hand traps, so this you can mold to whatever you want for any given format. I'm definitely into this though. This has been really good. Phantasme drawing you into these, or just drawing you into more extenders, stuff that allow you to play through disruption on the following turn. It's really good. And he summons himself on your opponent's turn, which is really important because Transcode Talker says you can't use his effect the turn you summon anything non-Cybers. So you need to summon Phantasme on your opponent's turn. That way Transcode is live on yours. He's an extra body, gives you targeting protection, but you could easily swap out any of these hand traps for something else if you'd like a better hand trap for the format. That's up to you, but that's what I'm playing. And then we move to the spells, starting off with 3 Mining and 3 Codec. Mining is just searches everything in your deck. Codec is like insane, especially for the combo variant that this is. This just searches 4 times when you go full combo. So yeah, it's literally a +4. It's insane. Then for some extenders, we play 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Foolish Burial, and 1 1-for-1. The 2 new cards here are these guys, Foolish Burial and 1-for-1. They're amazing, right? Like Foolish Burial has multiple good targets. You're looking at either Dotscaper or Spinny or Mathmech Sigma, or if you really wanted to do it, you could even look at certain situations where if you know your opponent just loses to Ibly Lock, you just send Ibly, revive Ibly off like Splash Mage, and then win the game. It's insane. 1-for-1's also really good, just another extender. All 3 of these, by the way, just want to throw it out there again, allow you to play through getting your board wiped after a normal summon, right? Reborn something, send a body that gets on the field, or 1-for-1 out a free body. All really good. The one thing I'll say about 1-for-1 is one of our best things in this deck for like the Salamangreat Sanctuary package is that it gives you a free discard on stuff, but unfortunately 1-for-1 has forces you to send a monster, not any card from hand to grave. So it's a little bit less good there, but I still just think it's such a good extender. I wanted to play it, so 3 of that guy there. Then finishing up the spells, Called and Sanctuary. This card's just so versatile. I feel like I want to play it in every deck always. And then Sanctuary, like I said, it can be a free discard that you just get for free. So Dynamiscus, Signet Mining, really nice there. But also if you ever Ibly Lock your opponent, this card keeps your opponent from being able to just crash you in battle phase and then be able to play in main phase 2 that way. So it keeps them with the Ibly on field. Also really good. And then we finish up here with our trap lineup, 3 copies of Solemn Strike, 2 Dynamiscus, and 1 Signet Conflict. Sometimes I find myself wishing I had a second Conflict in the deck, but I just feel like I draw it too much at that point. And then I'm like, what do I even search off of? Microcoder. And yes, you can search, like, you know what I mean, Mining and Codec, obviously, but I don't know. They're not the best targets. They're like better to just open. So Conflict's like the really big payoff. I really can't wait till we get Crosswipe. When we get that, that'll be really nice. But yeah, these are all great. Just traps that are like pretty good going second, but also just really good utility. Specifically Dynamiscus it can remove back row, can remove field spells from resolving, or continuous spells and traps from resolving. And then you can just like, it's just really good. It just hits so many things. There, but that's, I believe, 44 cards in the main, and then like I said, 1 code Radiator that I don't have would make it 45, but that's totally fine, you know. All right, so let's move to the extra real quick. We've got 2 Banelinks, 1 Lancer, 1 Lingaribo. This is the same as before. Banelinks is just great because it gets you Sanctuary, and it's just a generic link 2 that points down. Lancer is great for follow-up, and then Lingaribo allows you to just like beat trap decks really easily. Like you play into back row like so nicely in this deck. I played against a Salamangreat player who really thought that like this was just like poor man Salamangreat, and I'm almost positive this is just like rich man Salamangreat. I just made this, and his like Rage is the one that pops stuff, not the negate, the Rage, and then he just like never had a chance to activate it, and I just won. It was like stupid. Then for the Link 2s, 1 Code Talker, 1 Inverted, double Splash Mage, and Update Jammer. This is also really cool. The only change I made to the extra is swapping 2 Code Talker for 2 Splash Mage. So now we're, instead of 2 in 1, we're 2 in 1. And the reason for that is that like the second Code Talker is only really specifically good when you have opened like Codec and somehow your opponent broke your board, but most of the time you open Codec, your opponent doesn't break your board. And that's just kind of like a greedy play in the extra deck, whereas Splash Mage at 2 is really nice because if your opponent like wipes your whole board, then going into your next turn, if you don't play the second splash mage and you used one on turn 1, it means you have to get the transcode to actually recover, which is a link 3. Whereas if not, you can make a splash mage revive a monster, and that gets you transcode. So it's like now I only need to make a link 2 to be able to like pretty much fully recover instead of making a link 3, and that's the whole idea. Like splash mage just becomes way better in the like as turns go on, and having multiple that way than the second code talker. Obviously, in a perfect world, if I have enough space, I'm playing 2 of each, but because space is really tight, that's what I decided to go with. For link 3s, double transcode, best card in the extra deck, 1 X code and 1 Trigate. Almost positive that Trigate just like comes out of the list as soon as Heat Soul comes out and the deck gets way more control oriented. I'm not opposed to that. I actually prefer control decks, but just so you know, still an amazing card, but the deck won't really facilitate it as much. But yeah, and we'll see if X code stays in. It may, just because it searches an awesome extender like Parallel Exceed, but we'll see. And the destruction protection. And then finishing up the extra firewall and access code, offensive 1, defensive 1, giving you a disruption. I know this isn't legal for another like week or 2, so Avermax will work here fine until then. And honestly, you can keep Avermax if you want, but I honestly just think I prefer the ability to set up disruption, like either a regular bounce or a double bounce, just really strong, paired with like any 1 or 2 other disruptions. It actually is, so. There we go. And then we'll finish up with the side deck here for what I've been running as of late. 2 copies of Droll, 2 copies of Lancia, 2 copies of Nib. I'm a big fan of the 2-2-2 ratios here. We already have 7 hand traps in the main, so I didn't want to go too crazy here. Droll's great versus a lot of things. Lancia's good versus a couple specific things. And then Nib is kind of okay versus some things. Nib's one of those hand traps right now that's like, it's good if you see it with another hand trap, but it's usually not great by itself. So just keep that in mind. I don't know. It's fine. It's been fine for me so far. For back row removal, 1 Link Slayer, 1 Cosmic, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. I didn't have a ton of room here in the extra with everything else I'm playing to really just play like triple Cyclone and like a Duster or something like that. But I really like Link Slayer because he's like an extender and back row removal at the same time. So he just baits out so many things, like going second versus back row decks. It's really, really good. Like imagine going into him, summon him, he's like already a threat to your opponent, then using his effect like pitching Dotscaper. And now your opponent just has to like lose a back row for no reason. Or you could pitch 2 cards and really force out a negation or something. And that's like, it's so good, right? So big fan of that. Cosmic's just great. Still just back row removal, and then Harpy's Feather Duster, again, really good. These become less important if we get crosswipe, because crosswipe is back row removal. So it's like, I guess as far as Mystic Mine outs and stuff like that goes, you'd already have one, and I'd be playing it in the main. I'm almost positively playing in the main, but just generically good. Link Slayer is really cool though, by the way. Almost considered playing him in the main, but we already have 45-ish cards in the main, so I didn't want to go too much heavy on it. 1 Mind Control. This card's really cool for Code Talkers because, like I said, you can't summon anything that's not Cybers, but this steals it. So still makes Transcode totally live, but just takes something. And if it's a Link monster, you just got hella materials. If not, this just baits in a gate like every time. So almost would main this, honestly. It's like in mid games and like going second, it's just actually really good. Nobody's ever ready for it. And then finishing up with the traps, 2 evenly matched, 3 Judgment. Judgment's just for going first. Like you just side out your hand traps, like most of your hand traps going first, to make room for Judgment, because then you just have 3 Judgment, 3 Strike, and it's going to be really tough if you actually get to a board state with like both of those set, or even 1. And then evenly is good. I honestly don't even know if I'd play 3 of it. I feel like what I have in the side right now is really good. I feel like it's versatile. I'm covering a lot of bases, but some matchups definitely don't appreciate evenly, so it's really good. Yeah, that's pretty standard there, and I think that rounds out the side, the extra, and the main all together here. This is Code Talker version 2.0, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this version, and what you would change, what you think is good, what you think is bad. Just want to hear your thoughts on it all together. But this is going to do it for me here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Code Talker content. down the line. I love this deck. I really hope we get Heat Soul imported somewhere soon. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.